Jesus Christ. He almost gave me a heart attack.
What are you guys doing here so late?
You're a cocky son of a bitch, aren't you?
Look, man, if you're still mad about the banana thing, I'm sorry, all right? I just need a little time to myself. I just wish I would have saw the expression on your face when the car conked down.
Yeah, very funny. Lieutenant Doctor's 2 days' pay.
Get out of here.
Подпроходь. Пожалуйста. Лучки, нормально. Постріл.
Something that will change our daily lives, that will change history, 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 that will change history. That will be the most beautiful day.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening to our weekly Intel Report here on Nemico Network for the 22nd of June, 2023. Big shout out to all of our loyal fans, loyal viewers that are tuning into this late report. Not only is it a day late, but it's at midnight we're having it. The best time to be having a live stream, in my opinion. Miss Tiger Eye, big shout out to you, says, I was like, oh, more aliens. Yeah, I actually queued up the wrong intro. We will be doing our part 2 of the Tinfoil Time UFO stream. We're going to be getting to that later in the show. We're gonna cap that all off with our second part of our Tinfoil Time special, so don't worry about that. We'll get to that later in the show tonight. But again, big shout out to you, Miss Tiger Eye. Big shout out to Patty Whack, all of our mods that are tuning in tonight. Big shout out to you guys. Fallen Rays, I see you tuning in this evening as well. I hope you are doing just fine there, Fallen Rays. Speedy Squirrel, big up to you. Good to see you. Says, what's up? What's up to you? It says 8 a.m. for me. I believe Speedy Squirrel's tuning in from the UAE, so kind of interesting, the time difference. We're at midnight here here on the East Coast, and it's 8 a.m. for Speedy over there in the United Arab Emirates. Patty Whack says, woot woot. Kelly M says, hello from Washington State. Let me know where you guys are all tuning in from this evening. Would love to hear from you guys. Let me know where you're tuning in from tonight. Big shout out to Nismo Huncho. Says, feels like just yesterday watching them take down the camera on the Invasion Day on your channel. Well, good to see you back here again, Nismo. Great to see you here again. We're now rolling over into Friday. I guess we could say it's finally Friday here, guys. Thursday night, I guess, for some of us. Crushing Pie, good to see you as well. Big up to you, Crushing Pie. Again, we're tuning in here for, we're just starting our late stream tonight. We got a double feature report for you guys tonight. We got our usual news Intel stream, our usual weekly Intel stream, and then we also have part 2 of our Tinfoil Time UFO special report. For all of those tinfoil heads tuning in the live chat tonight, you guys are in for a special treat. I know we got a couple of you guys out there that have been requesting this sort of stuff for a while, so that's why we decided to do the Tinfoil Time special, which was a smash hit, I might add. Everybody loved it. It was really positive, the feedback from our first Tinfoil Time special report. I love doing those. It's really fun doing that sort of stuff and reading some of that news and talking about some of that sort of stuff. So I'm glad you guys found that appetizing. so to speak. Ukden at Scylla, good to see you as always tuning in. Great to see you. Mehmet, I think somebody said Mehmet's in the chat. Oh, I see Mehmet. Good to see you, Mehmet. He says, hi, everyone. Hello to you, Mehmet. I believe Mehmet is now in the same time zone I am in, guys. He is in Canada. I think eventually here. He's actually not too far from me. I'm not going to give out his exact location. He's not too far from me, though, and I think eventually we might have to meet up and do a little bit of a meet and greet with Mehmet there. I think that's destiny. I think we have to do that, have a real-life interview at some point here. I think that's in the cards for sure. So yeah, it's technically the 23rd now. This stream in the title, it says for 22nd. We've now rolled over into the 23rd, so I guess I'll have to update that. Michelle Welch, good to see you in the live chat as always. Great to have you back. Luis Videz says hello to you, Luis. For everybody that's just tuned in, we're just getting started here. Just kind of saying hello to everybody in the live chat. Speaking of which, Shameless Senpai, good to see you, says tuning in from Tokyo, Japan here. Good to see you, Shameless, as always. Great to have you in the chat. Kelly M, I'm not sure if I said you. Doom Pie, good to see you as always. Little Dickens, good to see you as well, too. To everybody that took the time out of the day to be here with us, thank you guys so much for stopping by and tuning in for, again, our weekly Intel report here for now the 23rd of June. We started this stream in the 22nd, on the 22nd of June. We're now on the 23rd. So let's just say it's a report for the 22nd/23rd. Let's say that. Coffee Doctor. By the way, I love the name, Coffee Doctor. That is a hell of a name. That could be like a band name. The man, the myth, the legend, Coffee Doctor says. Well, thank you very much there, Coffee Doctor. Good to see you. Good to have you on the show tonight. Little Dickens, too, says still this 22nd here, so I guess it's still a 22nd somewhere out there. Shazzer, good to see you as well. All right, so without further ado, we're going to start tonight's stream. As always, we're going to go through our Ukrainian main headlines. We're going to cover everything that's going on in Ukraine with the Russia-Ukrainian situation there. We're going to get everybody updated on what's been going on there for about the past 72 hours, dipping into the past week. Coffee Doctor says it's 6 a.m. here. My day starts with your stream. Well, that is awesome, Coffee Doctor. It's a good way to start your day. Part of this complete breakfast, as I would say. He says, not a real doctor, by the way. Thank you for disclosing that. I guess that's kind of some good, important information there for us to have. All right, so without further ado, and before we start, I guess I have a few things I should touch on. First of all, if you haven't already, please motivate that like button. We do cater to the algorithm here on the channel. As some of you may know, we've been shadow banned a few times here on YouTube due to some of the content that we cover here, some of the things that we've shown on our channel before. You know, war is a really hard thing to cover, and it's not very advertiser friendly. So if you can, just take a second, motivate that like button, give it a little poke, a little prod there, and maybe get it moving in the right direction. All right, that's all we ask. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed. The only Angie. Can't forget you. I see you in the live chat there. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way to get access to our live chat over on the YouTube channel. It's also the best way to support us here on the channel is to hit the subscribe button. And for those of you that don't know, we do dual stream to both Twitch and YouTube. So we are live on both platforms. For those of you following along on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. Speedy Squirrel, thank you so much for the super chat there. It says, for the taco fund. Thank you so much for that, Speedy. I will definitely put that to good use. Also, I have a few other shout-outs. I think Pepe put a super chat in earlier. Also, Joe Blow and Win gifted 20 community subs at the beginning of the stream as well. I forgot to mention that. Big shout out to Joe Blow and Wind for the gifting the community subs. He's been a huge supporter of the channel. Probably one of our biggest supporters of the channel. Just gifting all of those community subs to people, and just helping us out with support time and time again. Also, big shout out to Speed Squirrel, of course. You've been a huge supporter as well. Again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot. I think we covered all of our bases except, oh yes, one thing. We have one thing more. The Discord server. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord server. There's a link to that in the description below. It's the best way to, kind of become more of a part of our community over there. Again, on our Discord server. It's a great resource for information that's going on, not just in Ukraine, but we cover a variety of topics over there in our many different channels that we have on the Discord. It's grown to become quite large now. We have a whole bunch of different channels covering a very wide range of topics. All sorts of different people from all sorts of different countries and walks of life, giving their 2 cents in on the topics. It's a great place to join in on the discussion. I highly recommend it. Before I begin, I might occasionally take a second to take a sip of a beverage. It's about 95 degrees here, give or take a few degrees in the studio. It's very important to stay hydrated. I recommend you do the same. Got to stay hydrated, guys. Super important. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get right into the main Ukraine headlines. I have quite a few to go over tonight. First, we're going to hop over to our Ukraine map. This is our battle map for Ukraine here. We have a few different maps, but this is the one I've been using the most here. This is deepstatemap.live, if you guys want to go check it out. It's a great resource for information. Hold on, something's going to bug me here. We gotta make that report title even. There we go. Weekly Intel Report. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry for my headphone users there. Make sure my desktop audio is activated because we have a few videos to show you guys tonight as well. I got a whole bunch of footage that we're going to be showing you guys this evening. Okay. All right, so first up, we got a whole bunch of news coming out of Ukraine over the past few weeks. This major Ukrainian counteroffensive is underway, has been for what I would argue has been some time now, probably a month or two. Technically, this counteroffensive has been underway. The only Angie asks outdoor studio, no, it's just I haven't got the air conditioner installed yet. I've been slacking. We'll get there, though. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right, so with this counteroffensive, we've gotten a whole bunch of different news. I know we had the dam strike a couple weeks back now. That was really big in the news. We also have some major news of this destruction of a bridge. I'll get to that later. We'll be talking about that. But we have all sorts of different news that has been coming out over the past week here out of Ukraine. Different battles taking place, different territories being retaken by the Ukrainians. First up, however, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called out Russia for killing 136 children in Ukraine in 2022. I thought I would open with this because it's been a pretty big article here that I've been seeing a lot of today, this statement here from the UN Secretary General. They have basically proof here. Basically, in 2022, that the Russians were responsible for killing 136 children in Ukraine, basically from munitions like artillery, missile strikes, etc., bombs being dropped on residential areas in Ukraine. It added its armed forces to global list of offenders, according to a report to the UN Security Council. So they're now on that official list of offenders, of basically countries or entities that are known for large amounts of civilian casualties. The UN, the United Nations, has also verified that Russian armed forces and affiliated groups injured 518 children and carried out 480 attacks on schools and hospitals. The forces used 91 children as human shields, according to the report. Guterres, particularly shocked by the high number of child casualties, has said in the report, while saying he was disturbed by the high number of offenses against children by Ukrainian forces as well. So there's multiple different reports from both sides here of casualties, civilian casualties, child casualties, unfortunately, from both sides of the war. But again, they highlight there 519 children were injured and 136 killed in Ukraine since the start of the all-out invasion. In further news, Russia has formed special groups to collect and hide bodies of people killed in the aftermath of the Hakhovka Dam breach in southern Ukraine. As I reported in previous live reports, a lot of that territory is in Russian control. So a lot of that territory that was affected by that dam breach is in Russian control. The Ukrainian president said in a video address on Thursday that the situation in Russia-occupied parts of the region was, quote, catastrophic, to put it mildly. It is definitely not a pretty situation there. Cholera outbreaks, all sorts of different health issues and humanitarian crisis that is unfolding there. Meanwhile, Ukraine's prime minister has said, quote, its counteroffensive will take time, but he is optimistic about its success. Speaking of which, guys, I have a live chat poll going in the YouTube live chat this evening. Make sure you vote in that live chat poll. It's related to this very question, and I'll talk about it when we have our Q&A session at the end of the show. It says, do you consider Ukraine's counteroffensive successful so far? Again, big shout out to everybody taking some time to be here with us tonight. This is a late night report. We are post midnight here. We're kind of going through our first Ukrainian headlines here. Again, thank you for everybody for tuning in to this late night report that we're having here. Great to have you. So again, Ukraine's prime minister has said its counteroffensive will take time, but he is optimistic about its success. Denis Shamal's comments on the sidelines of Ukrainian Reconstruction Conference in London on Thursday came after Zelensky said the counteroffensive might be going, quote, slower than desired, but he would not needlessly risk soldiers' lives to meet international expectations, meaning he's not just going to throw more soldiers into the meat grinder like Moscow has. Moscow had suggested that there appeared to have been a break in the counteroffensive's intensity. There's been massive casualties on both sides of the war in recent weeks over this whole counteroffensive. Doug Wilson, great to see you, dude. Thank you so much for being here, man. It's awesome to see you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Mike Barry as well, great to see you as well. We got some big names tuning in right now into the YouTube live chat. Some big repeat offenders, I guess as we could call them. JDW616. That's a hell of a name you got there. He says, LOL, what counteroffensive? Sounds like we have an alternate view in the live chat this evening. Welcome, JW616. If that's not a Russian bot name, then I don't know what is. But nonetheless, even if you're not a Russian bot, even if you are an actual person, thank you so much for being here with us and having your alternate view. Because here on the channel, we welcome alternate views in the YouTube chat. Please discuss with us, show us your views, tell us your views, and discuss them in the live chat. We'd love to have you guys. We welcome all the Russian bots. I mean, all views. We welcome all views here. Canada OSINT, thank you so much for being here as well. Wink, wink. Thank you so much for being here, bro. As always, great to have you. Mike Cronin, good to see you as well. All right, anyway, moving on. I'm getting sidetracked here by the live chat. Getting sidetracked here. All right. Ukraine's prime minister, again, just to reiterate here, said its counteroffensive will take time. As I said earlier, I would argue the counteroffensive has been underway for quite some time. He said, Zelensky said the counteroffensive might be, quote, going slower than desired, but would not needlessly risk soldiers' lives. So again, to reiterate, he does not want to throw more bodies into the meat grinder, and I can respect that, all right? He wants to preserve the lives of his people. On the other hand, on the other side of the spectrum, you got Vladimir Putin just throwing everybody. You got him throwing Vlad. He's throwing. I mean, Ivan. I'm trying to think of some Russian names here. He's throwing all of them. He's just throwing all your homies into the meat grinder. Everybody, every young Russian dude is being thrown into. Everybody that's of fighting age, for the most part. Quite significant majority of them being thrown into the meat grinder here. And Zelensky, he's like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to throw more bodies at the problem. Instead, we're gonna go about this strategically. We're gonna go about this decisively, one step at a time. That's kind of what he's saying here. It's gonna go slow. It's gonna go slow. It's gonna take time. Meanwhile, here, foreign donors pledged $60 billion of new financial support to Ukraine. We don't just have new weapons packages, new defense packages heading over there, but we also have just financial support to rebuild Ukraine heading over there as well. The UK said as the international conference in London aimed at funding the country's reconstruction closed, the commitments from the government and international organizations targeted supporting Ukraine in the short and medium term, the British Foreign Minister James cleverly said on Thursday. So they're not only looking to arm the Ukraine, but they are looking to rebuild Ukraine. This is already underway. Madeline7, good to see you. Says the big offensive hasn't started yet. I'll have to take a look at that. Says Jake Bro, it's a very interesting take on the situation. I'll have to take a look at that. I've never heard of Jake Bro. Russia, meanwhile, fired cruise missiles and ballistic missiles and strike drones at targets in Ukraine early on Thursday, causing damage in the cities of Odessa, Kryvyi Rih, and a few others, Ukrainian officials said in a statement. Meanwhile, Russian-backed officials in southern Ukraine have accused Kyiv of using British-supplied long-range missiles to strike a bridge connecting Kherson province with the Crimean Peninsula. A series of photos and videos circulating on Telegram on Thursday showed a large crater on the bridge and debris littering the roads. There were no casualties reported. I have a whole article on this later in the show, and we will get to that in due time. Ukraine and Moldova had made a good progress on their journey to becoming members of the European Union, says a European commissioner. The EC reportedly made clear that Ukraine had a way to go to complete the 7 steps to EU outlined last year when it granted Kyiv the status of a candidate for membership. Meanwhile, Russia is 99.9% certain, that's pretty specific there, certain to quit that UN-brokered deal on the safe wartime passage of Black Sea grain shipments. I talked about that quite often on the show here. In July, it's set to expire as it no longer needs Ukrainian ports to export ammonia, a senior Ukrainian diplomat has said. Meanwhile, Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine, says reportedly that Ukrainian spies believed Russia was plotting. Vladimir Zelensky reportedly said Ukrainian spies believed Russia was plotting an incident to release radiation from the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia plant. I've been talking about this plant situation for quite some time now and how sketchy this whole situation is surrounding the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. It says here, Vladimir Zelensky reportedly said Ukrainian spies believed Russia was plotting an incident very similar to the dam incident, in my opinion, to release radiation from the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in southern Ukraine, Europe's largest nuclear plant, an allegation that is denied by the Kremlin. So this is some pretty big news here coming from that nuclear power plant. We're going to have to keep an eye, as we say here, on that situation here over the next few weeks here, as tensions definitely have increased in and around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It looks like my mouse disconnected. Well, we're going to have to switch to the backup mouse. Backup mouse, engage. All right. Okay, so we are done with our main Ukrainian headlines. However, I have a few I have a few other Ukrainian-related headlines which we're going to get into right now. First, however, I have a few videos here which need to wait a second before we start playing. All right, so first I have a video of that missile strike on that Crimean bridge. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to have to head over to our other screen. Human Scourge! What a wonderful name. Human Scourge. Says Nemico, back at it. Been waiting for another stream. Always good. Thank you so much, Human Scourge, for being here with us this evening. Rakasan, good to see you as well. Big shout out to Rakasan, huge channel supporter, huge long-time viewer, I should say. The usual suspect, I guess we could call it. I saw somebody else in there. We had King Sam and Boo Jr. good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. So again, we just got through our main Ukrainian headlines, and I just got my DoorDash my delivery of DoorDash just got here. What we got here? What in the hell is this? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna watch this video here. It's the again, this is video from that strike on that key Crimean bridge. And I'm about to read you guys an article about that whole situation. I just wanted to show you some on-the-ground video of what's going on this bridge here. Which, by the way, for a little context, the name of the bridge is the Cahonar Bridge. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Just bear with me on that one. Anyway, here's some video of the damage to this bridge. We're going to watch it while I figure out what the hell DoorDash. Yes, I did tip very well, 757 AP. Wait, hold on a second. We got like two guys in the chat with like very similar numerical names like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I did tip well. I'm going to try to figure out what the hell I was delivered here while we watch this video of this strike on this bridge. This just shows the damage to the bridge there in Ukraine. The Cahonar Bridge. Okay, so we just saw a few different things there. First of all, this is the damage to the bridge. Or at least some of the damage to the bridge. So you can see a pretty decent sized hole there. So apparently there's multiple damage sections to the bridge. And this is a pretty significant bridge. For the flow of commercial traffic, residential traffic, commercial traffic, even military assets. This is video apparently of the moments after the strike. From what I guess. All right, so we have an article here to go over. So again, this comes from BBC. It says Ukraine strikes the Cahonar Bridge to Crimea, says Russia. It says here, two parallel Cahonar bridges were both damaged. So there's two bridges here. They're both running parallel along each other. Said the Russian installed governor in the occupied Kherson, Vladimir Saldo is his name, the installed governor there. No one was hurt, so there's no injuries, no deaths, no casualties here in this, but nonetheless, that bridge has been destroyed. Mr. Saldo said it was likely British Storm Shadow missiles were used in an attack, and quote, ordered by London. You gotta love that last part there. Ordered by London. That's great. That's good stuff. Speedy Squirrel says, or Itchy the Killer says, Major General Squirrel, I salute you. Well, I salute the both of you. Speedy Squirrel says, lol, thanks, Itchy, sending salutes back at you. I love to see this in the chat. When I see stuff like that, man, that just warms my heart, guys. Love that stuff. That's great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Anyway, back to the article here. I'm getting distracted again by the live chat. The bridge is the shortest route from Crimea, from the Crimean Peninsula to the front line in the south of the country, guys. This is a very significant bridge here. It is also an important link to the occupied city of Melitopol, which lies on the coastal route from the Russian border across southern Ukraine to Crimea. Photos posted by Vladimir Saldo showed a gaping hole in one of the two bridges, but he said repairs would be made quickly and vehicles would take an alternative route temporarily. Another Russian-installed official, Nikolai Lukashenko, said repairs could take weeks. Ukrainian military spokesman Natalia Homeniuk said on national TV that the army was aiming to disrupt Russia's supply routes, and a military intelligence official, Andriy Yusov, said more attacks would follow. Russia uses the road as a land bridge to Crimea, and Melitopol is thought to be one of the targets of Ukraine's counteroffensive, which began in the southern region of Zaporizhia earlier this month. Russian forces seized the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine back in 2014, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. So again, they've struck this bridge. More than likely, they're going to strike it again. It's kind of the same pattern we saw with the other bridges that have been struck over recent months here. So next up here, we have some Chinese news, some China-Taiwan news. Going to get you guys filled in on what's going on in the South Pacific. But before we do that, we have a few videos from Ukraine here, which we will watch. First up comes from the Daily Mail. Shows Russians fleeing as Ukraine blows up 2 tanks and stops a counterattack dead. Let's take a look at this. Without the copyrighted music, preferably. So basically, this is near Kremenina. We're basically just seeing a Russian counteroffensive, a Russian counterattack, I should call it, being foiled by this Ukrainian unit. Some of their armor being destroyed there in a pretty satisfying fireball. So that's the video from the Telegraph that we just saw of that bridge. This next one here comes from Reuters. Shows Ukrainian military video showing some fighting in and around Bakhmut. I shouldn't say in Bakhmut, but this is around Bakhmut on the outskirts there. So it says this Ukrainian military video. It's said to show troops storming enemy positions. So basically storming into enemy dugouts. You can see green tape on all of their gear, indicating that they're Ukrainian forces. Doing some blind firing there. Gotta love that.
Где уебало?
Сука, я походу 300 нахуй.
Да?
Да.
Они с посадки ебашат тебя.
Вот.
See a pretty close grenade explosion there.
Сука, я походу 300 нахуй.
Да?
Да.
I think that was a grenade. It might have been artillery, incoming artillery.
Силой?
Силой?
Силой? Ебать, прям в укоп нахуй, даешь дупля?
Да.
Next up here, we have basically some video from that Hakovka reservoir after the dam was destroyed. It's drying up here, and this is just basically some before and after imagery of what it's looking like now after after the dam being destroyed and the reservoir being drained now. It's honestly pretty insane, just kind of the difference. I mean, just the difference it's made to the entire region, just draining that reservoir, is extremely substantial. We have a discussion about air power going on in the live chat here. All right, so next up we have some China-Taiwan news. We're going to jump into that. We're going to have a segue here to some news out of the South Pacific. Excuse me here while I moisten my palate because this sandwich I ordered is extremely spicy. I mean, I'm down for that, but caught me off guard a little bit. Took a little bite of that while we were watching that video. That definitely wakes you up a bit. Again, thank you for everybody tuning in for our that's tuning in tonight for our late night stream. This is what a late night stream is going to be like. Again, this is a double feature, guys. We got not only our normal weekly intel report tonight, but we also have we have our tinfoil time special report right after this. It's going to be great. It's going to be good stuff. I can't wait for you guys to see what we got for you tonight. Sorry, excuse me there. Anyway, up first, guys, this is some very I should say bombshell news we got here, so to speak. Again, kind of taking a segue into some China-Taiwan news. We're kind of getting you guys filled in what's going on in the South Pacific here. So I got a few of them, and we're going to go with them rapid fire here. Okay, first up from Al Jazeera, Biden defends calling China's President Xi Jinping a dictator during a fundraiser. This is big stuff, calling him a dictator. President Xi gets a little bit. He gets worked up over stuff like this, over public remarks. So this is kind of a big deal for Xi. Hearing the U.S. president literally calling him a dictator. He's definitely getting his. He's getting worked up over this a little bit. You know, he's getting a little aggravated over this sort of stuff. He doesn't like hearing this stuff from someone, you know, of such stature as the president of the United States, right? Okay. And so this is kind of a big deal here, and it's funny, you know, he defends it. He's straight up. He's like, you know, yep, he's a dictator, you know, which again is it has, you know, quite a bit of truth to it. Quite a bit of truth to it, that's for sure. But it's interesting here that they've had to double down on their comments here. And so anyway, I'll read you this article here from Al Jazeera. I got kind of a kick out of this earlier. DB, thank you so much for tuning in tomorrow, or tuning in tonight, right now. He says, tomorrow never dies plot. Give the people what they want, he says. Mark Cronin, good to have you. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. Trains and Games, Byron says, good day, Nemico. Good day, all. Good day to you, Trains and Games. Thank you so much for being here with us on our late night stream. This is a double feature special back-to-back report that we're having here tonight. We're just having a great old time together here this evening. Again, I'm getting into this China, Taiwan, South Pacific news here. We're getting updated on a different part of the world here. We just got done getting updated on what's going on in Ukraine. We're going to dive into some China news here. Some China, Asia, South Pacific news here. Yeah, I forgot to hit the mute button when I let that one out when I burped there. It's the DoorDash here. This sandwich definitely caught me off guard. All right, so again, United States President Joe Biden has defended calling the Chinese President Xi Jinping a, quote, dictator just days after their countries hailed modest progress in cooling down tensions and ratcheting back those tensions. And then he goes and just drops the mic on this one. He drops this bomb on President Xi Jinping, calling him a dictator during a joint press conference with nonetheless Indian Prime Minister here. You know the Chinese and the Indians, they don't get along that well. All right, so this adds some sugar and spice on top of the whole ordeal here. All right, during that joint press conference with the Indian Prime Minister on Thursday, Biden said his blunt statements about China are, quote, just not something I'm going to change very much. So he's not going back on it. In fact, he's doubling down on the comments about President Xi Jinping of China being a dictator. Quote, I expect to be meeting with President Xi sometime in the future, near term, and I don't think it's had any real consequence, he says. So he doesn't care. He does not care. He's going to be meeting the guy face to face, and he's just like, yo, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not taking it back. I'm doubling down. Yeah, he's a dictator. And so they're going to have to meet face to face. With this knowledge, Xi's going to have to walk into that meeting knowing that he's just been truth bombed by Biden. And so, again, we're going to have to see how this one pans out. Definitely a pretty interesting move here by the U.S., by the U.S. presidency. He says, quote, the dictator comment reportedly came at a campaign fundraiser in California earlier in the week. At the event, Biden described the Chinese leader as being, quote, out of the loop during an incident involving a Chinese spy balloon drifting over the U.S. A lot of you may remember the balloon mania here on Nemico Network. Great times. Great times. If you guys didn't see that, you can go back and watch our previous live streams, our previous videos on the Chinese spy balloon mania. Quote, that's a great embarrassment for dictators when they didn't know what happened, Biden said at the fundraiser. Quote, that wasn't supposed to be going where it was. It was blown off course. The statement came a day after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken completed a trip to Beijing, becoming the highest level official to visit the country since Biden took office in January 2021. The only Angie says maybe he will send balloons as a thank you. Possibly. I would like to see it. And an article from Foreign Affairs. We're getting fancy here, guys. We're getting into the niche. We're getting into the 1% of the 1% of journalism here. We're on Foreign Affairs. Okay, guys? Guys, button up those shirts here. All right? Let's cut out the crap, everybody in the live chat. We're on Foreign Affairs now, so we got to be respectful. All right? In this article from Foreign Affairs, China is ready for a world of disorder. Let's see what this opinion piece has to say. In March, at the end of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin stood at the door of the Kremlin to bid his friend farewell. Xi told his Russian counterpart, quote, right now there are changes, the likes of which we haven't seen for 100 years, and we are the ones driving these changes together. Putin, smiling, responded, quote, I agree. Big words there from two very big leaders there. Serious face, guys. Serious face here. The tone was informal, but this was hardly an impromptu exchange. Changes unseen in a century has become one of Xi's favorite slogans since he coined it in December 2017. Although it might seem generic, it nearly encapsulates the contemporary Chinese way of thinking about the emerging global order, or rather, disorder. As Chinese power has grown, Western policymaker and analysts have tried to determine what kind of world China wants and what kind of global order Beijing aims to build with its power. But it is becoming clear that rather than trying to comprehensively reverse the existing order or replace it with something else, Chinese strategists have set about making the best of the world as it is, or as it soon will be. While most Western leaders and policymakers try to preserve the existing rules-based international order, that's keyword there, perhaps updating key features incorporating additional actors, Chinese strategists increasingly define their goal as survival in a world without order. The Chinese leadership, from Xi on down, believe that the global architecture that was erected in the aftermath of World War II is becoming irrelevant and that attempts to preserve it are futile. Instead of seeking to save the system, Beijing is preparing for its failure. I just thought that was an interesting opinion-based piece there from the turtleneck-wearing journalists over there at Foreign Affairs. They're cool. They got good stuff. Not ripping on them at all. Definitely go check out the full article over there. But I thought, that those first opening articles kind of pieced together this puzzle pretty well. In an article here from Reuters, U.S. Coast Guard ship transited the Taiwan Strait after that visit from Antony Blinken to China. From Taipei, June 22nd, a U.S. Coast Guard ship sailed through the Taiwan Strait on Tuesday in a transit that China described as public hype, after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken having wrapped up a high-profile, widely watched visit to Beijing a day earlier. The national security cutter Stratton made a routine Taiwan Strait transit on Tuesday through waters where high seas freedoms of navigation and overflight apply in accordance with international law. The U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet said on Thursday. The politically sensitive strait, which separates China from the democratically governed island of Taiwan, is a frequent source of tension as Beijing steps up its political and military pressure to try to force Taipei to accept Chinese sovereignty. Quote, Stratton's transit through the Taiwan Strait demonstrates the United States' commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. The United States military flies, sails, and operates anywhere international law allows, the 7th Fleet added in its statement. The mission happened a day after Antony Blinken ended a visit to Beijing in which the two countries agreed, for those who don't know, U.S. and China, agreed to stabilize their intense rivalry so it does not veer into conflict, but failed to produce any major breakthrough. Meanwhile, Taiwan's defense ministry said the ship sailed in a northerly direction, and its forces monitored the situation, which it described as, quote, normal. The Chinese Coast Guard described the ship's transit as, quote, public hype. Basically, yes, as Mark Cronin says, a drive-by by the USA. They're performing basically a drive-by there in the Taiwan Strait. In an article from the DW for all of our German guys. Big shout out to everybody tuning in from Germany tonight. I know we got a few Germans in the live chat somewhere for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight from wherever you're tuning in from. But what's important is you're German. DW, German news company here. With this article here, Politics Taiwan says Chinese air carrier group sails through the Taiwan Strait. So not only do we have that Coast Guard drive-by here, but we also have a Chinese air carrier group sailing through the Taiwan Strait around the same time. Chinese Shandong aircraft carrier led a group of warships through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday, Taiwan's defense ministry said. Amid heightened tensions over the island, China claims as its own. Taiwan's defense ministry said the Shandong, commissioned in 2019, had traveled in a southerly direction through the western part of the strait. In response to the move, the ministry said it had sent, quote, appropriate forces to monitor the activity. So again, China getting right in there. They're sailing the strait. They're getting in there. They're showing force. And then at the same time, we got the U.S. over here showing force around the same exact time. Pocket Frog, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. He says, is this real? Is it really Nemico? Or is this an alien? I don't know. You might have to wait about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, about 10 minutes here. And I think you're going to find out. You're gonna find out in about 10 minutes here. So just stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't change that dial. Don't miss out. Only Angie says no foil hat advisory today. Just wait. You're gonna still need those hats. Just hold your horses there, Buckaroo. We're getting there. All right, next article here coming from Reuters. It's from Germany's Scholz, saying, I warned China on using force against Taiwan. So a warning coming from Germany here against China on using force against Taiwan. Berlin, June 22nd. Chancellor Olaf Scholz told the German parliament on Thursday that he had warned China during talks earlier this week against using force to achieve territorial changes, particularly against Taiwan. Scholz hosted a large Chinese delegation led by Premier Li Qiang in the first face-to-face summit since the pandemic this week, at a time of rising geopolitical tensions between West and China. Quote, we firmly reject all unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the East and South China Seas by force or coercion. This is especially true for Taiwan, Scholz said, according to prepared remarks. To any of my community editors, I know there's one tuning in. You know who you are, who has wished to remain anonymous. If you are still tuning in right now, big shout out to you. I forgot to click the record button on this live stream. So just make sure you get a summary of both the weekly intel report and the tinfoil time report if you can. The live stream will be archived on the YouTube channel in the live category, but I usually upload them as a video, like a perfectly recorded section. I upload as a video, but I guess we're not going to have that this week unless I could somehow figure it out. I guess I'll start recording. I'll start recording when tinfoil time starts. But for my community editor out there, if you can, make sure you do the summary of both segments. We got to get some kind of clip of tinfoil time because I forgot to record last week's tinfoil time. I think it's live, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Checking the Discord. Gotcha, he says. All right, roger that. Copy. Over and out. Thank you much. Big shout out. If you guys could all shout out our anonymous community editor in the live chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. Just give a big shout out. Guys. Shameless Senpai says, download it and edit it. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. I'm probably gonna have to do that. Not a big deal. You know, we're in the thick of it. Not a big deal. However, you know what is a big deal? Michelle Welch in the live chat says my cup has a hole in it. That is absolutely not good. That is not good. That's not a good deal. It's a bad deal. Pocket Frog says camera is never on when a UFO is near. You know, that's funny you say that, Pocket Frog. That could have something to do with our upcoming segment here in a little bit. We're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on that. So again, that was the article here. That was our last China article. We're now moving on to North Korea. This article here from Military Times. North Korea calls botched spy satellite launch a most serious failure. From Seoul, now South Korea, from Associated Press, top North Korean officials vowed to push for a second attempt to launch a spy satellite, as they called their country's first and failed launch last month the most serious shortcoming this year and harshly criticized those responsible. State media reported Monday, straight from Pyongyang, straight from North Korea. In late May, and if for some of you that watch the show often, you might remember me covering this whole topic. In late May, a North Korean rocket carrying a military reconnaissance satellite crashed soon after liftoff, posing a setback to leader Kim Jong-un's push to acquire a space-based surveillance system to better monitor the United States and South Korea. North Korea is looking at all of the surveillance and reconnaissance equipment that China has in orbit and some other countries have in orbit, and they're like, we need to get in on this action. To North Korea, this is almost important, as if not more important than their nuclear program. Getting this reconnaissance hardware into orbit is extremely important for the Kim regime. The failed launch and North Korean efforts to modernize its weapons arsenal were discussed extensively at a 3-day ruling party meeting that ended Sunday, with the presence of Kim and other top officials. So they're getting together. They're talking about this stuff. They're thinking about it. They're concerned about it. This is at the top of their list besides their nuclear program for sure. Pocket Frog says, I'm just glad the North Korean windows stay closed. In some Iran news here from CNN, momentum building in Iran talks with the West. This is some big news here, guys. Momentum appears to be building to revive negotiations around Iran's growing nuclear program. Talks between Iran and the European Union on Wednesday focused on key sticking points, including nuclear enrichment levels and Iranian cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. One diplomatic source briefed the matter told CNN. The two-day discussion in Doha between European Union diplomat Enrique Mora and the Iranian top nuclear negotiator Ali Bagheri Khani appears to be, quote, leading to positive developments on many issues, the source added. Quote, the current environment has been positive for, quote, de-escalation, said the source, who requested anonymity due to sensitivity of the talks. With that sums up our last article of the evening in our normal weekly intel report. We're now going to be hopping into something different. Something a little strange, even. Something maybe not of this world. But before we do that, we're going to end off tonight's community live chat poll. If you haven't voted in that, you have about 10 seconds. I'm going to take a bite of this sandwich that's in front of me, and when I'm done chewing this sandwich, we're going to end off that live chat poll. I would give it maybe 30 seconds. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes here. It's probably going to be extremely hot. My mouth just got done burning. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Trains and Games says, do I need a foil hat? Yes, you're probably going to need a foil hat for this next one. We're getting a little weird with it. All right. Speech Scroll says, where's this sandwich from? I can't give it away. I really want to shout it out so bad. I can tell you what it is. It's basically a Chicago beef sandwich, but it's extremely spicy. Human Scourge says, take me to your dealer. Pocket Frog says, oh no, the peanut butter is spoiled. All right, and with that, we are on an even number. I'm going to end off tonight's community live chat poll. Tonight's live chat poll question was, do you think the Ukrainian counteroffensive is successful so far? An overwhelming 61% of you agree, yes, it is successful so far, while 38% say it is not successful, not yielding any results. Well, that is unfortunate. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude our main weekly intel report. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't change the dial. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Itchy the Killer. I'm looking at you. I can see you right now. Don't touch it. Don't go anywhere. We're now going to be switching into our special report here, guys. But before we do that, make sure to equip your tinfoil hats. Also, I just lost. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay, I lost 3 of my monitors here. It's because I accidentally unplugged them. Give me 1 second. I have to plug them back in. I don't know how that happened. All right. Disaster averted, I think. Phaser is set to stun, says Mark Cronin. At least somebody's prepared. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, monitors coming back online. Okay. Monitors are back online. Things are a little goofy, but that's okay. We can deal with that. So, all right, before we head over to our main screen, we're going to need to take a stop by here. All right, so with that, we're going to switch over now to our special report segment. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. A warning to all viewers. The following information has been labeled top secret confidential. Please ensure you are wearing your tinfoil hats for the remainder of tonight's broadcast. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in for our part 2 of Tinfoil Time here on Nemico Network. For those of you that are familiar, last week we had our first ever Tinfoil Time live stream. In last live stream, we covered the whistleblower, the Pentagon intelligence official whistleblower report that was recently released. We talked all about that. We watched the interview. I broke down the interview of that whole situation there with David Grush. He talks about everything in that interview with News Nation. I broke down that interview with you guys. We talked about that a little bit. Again, for those that don't know, my name is Kleptar. I am your alien host from the Zeta Reticuli system, here to guide you guys through tonight's Tinfoil Time episode. Big shout out to Keanu, big shout out to Uktin, big shout out to Pocket Frog, big shout out to Miss Tiger Eye, big shout out to King Sam, Michelle Welch, to everybody tuning in this evening. Thank you guys so much for being here with us for this episode of Tinfoil Time here on Nemico Network. So, tonight we're going to be covering the Vegas UFO incident, as it has come to be called. Again, in last week's episode, we covered the UFO whistleblower report, and I talked about this whole concept of which one of these stories, because these stories both dropped at the same exact time. I mean, within hours of each other, these stories dropped. And so I had this whole question for you guys that I posed last time, which is, which one of these stories is a distraction? Which one of these stories is basically just a big media ruse? Now remember, guys, you need to pull those tinfoil hats on. They need to be all the way over the top of your head to ensure that we don't have any problems. Okay? Okay? All right. Without further ado here, we're going to head over to our excuse me. It's this earth air. We're going to head over to our pointer screen here, as I like to call it, because it's, the screen I point at with my mouse. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to watch a couple of these videos here that I have for you guys. These are coming from a variety of different news agencies that kind of just cover these, basic summary of what happened here. And then we're going to get into some specific stuff. We're going to watch a witness account from the person, the group of people, I should say, that saw this occur. We're gonna watch some breakdowns of some of the footage. We're gonna watch a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna start off here with this this video here from ABC 7 out of Las Vegas. Let's take a look at this video here, guys.
Then these people say that I have butterflies, bro. Everyone thought.
So again, this footage you're seeing is coming from a police officer. This is a police officer body cam, and basically why this is so significant is a policeman saw something fall out of the sky, which was later released to have been some kind of meteor, like a meteor falling out of the sky. That's what some meteorological, or should I say, some astronomers said that it's most likely a meteor that they saw. But either way, this on-duty officer sees something fall out of the sky, and then minutes later, they get this 911 call from these people in Las Vegas, this family, saying that basically there's aliens in their backyard. There's some kind of entities in their backyard. You're going to hear the 911 calls. We're going to listen to everything. We're going to cover everything here. So just stay tuned. And I'm going to play it in the video here. But just kind of get a little context to you. This is a video from that body-worn cam from this officer. Let's hear what they're saying here.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star. Then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
Remember that family in Las Vegas that claimed a UFO landed in their backyard and say they saw an alien? Well, if they decide to come back, the police want to have more evidence. They set up cameras in the yard of the family who made the original 911 call. Sources close to the investigation said they do not believe the call was a hoax.
So you heard it there. They do not believe the call was a hoax. The police, the Las Vegas Police Department put up cameras after this incident. They've put up cameras in and around the property in an attempt to try to catch any activity. This is some ring cam footage of that object falling out of the sky. Let's take a look.
It was the streak seen across the sky, now seen around the world. This, as our 8 News Now investigators confirm, Metro actually set up cameras at this home where a family called 911 claiming to see aliens in their backyard. And tonight, a fierce debate is underway about the legitimacy of an alleged UFO crash. Good evening, I'm Janice Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Our 8 News Now investigators reporting about terrified members of a local family who told police they had aliens in their backyard. Chief Investigator George Knapp here to piece it all together.
You know, as with all things UFO, the public debate is ferocious and ongoing. Was it all a hoax? Were we duped? Was it all an evil plot, a cover-up, all of the above? We took another look at the hubbub to separate wheat from chaff.
We took another look at the hubbub to separate wheat from chaff.
The fireball captured on a police body cam on the night of April 30th was real. The American Meteor Society says witnesses reported seeing it all across the West, from northeastern Utah to Southern California. Another Las Vegas resident sent us a video of the same object recorded on her home camera.
Investigation by Nexstar station KLAS.
As the story of the Las Vegas incident spread across newscasts and social media, one of NASA's planetary defense officers weighed in to say it was likely a small meteor that fell to Earth hundreds of miles away from Las Vegas. Police videos obtained by 8 News Now indicate Metro officers were among the witnesses.
One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
The appearance of the meteor seemingly triggered the events that followed. A frightened family called 911 and told police they had 10-foot-tall alien beings in their backyard. Officers responded to the home minutes later, interviewed the witnesses, canvassed the area.
Human Scourge has the right idea. Somebody's wearing their tinfoil hat tonight. Terrestrial, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. King Sam and the Boo Jr. Changed his account icon there. That's awesome, dude. Is it a psyop? Is it a distraction? What is it? What occurred here in these guys' backyard? What occurred?
And cautiously inspected the backyard to look for intruders. One thing noticed by the officers was a circle in the soil. In conversations with us and in a podcast interview, Angel, the main witness, suggested the circle
tinfoil time.
Might have been created when an unknown object landed in the yard. Social media sleuths have since pointed out that the circular image has been viewable via Google Earth for more than a year.
Social media sleuths. Where does this guy get his stuff from?
Here. The family told us by phone they had seen suspicious vehicles with men in black types checking out their home. Turns out there is substance to that. A retired police officer fessed up on News Nation that he spent days staking out the house to see what, if anything, unfolded. What about those reports that Metro installed a special surveillance camera atop the house, presumably to watch for intruders, human or otherwise, or over
10-footers. I mean, just watch me stand up. I mean, 10-footers, though.
zealous media? Turns out that's true as well.
Overzealous media? I mean, come on.
Metro confirmed as much in a statement to 8 News Now's David Charnes. The system stayed on the roof for days. What about the Ring camera video with the weird noise? The main witness, Angel, intimated.
That Ring camera, by the way, was proven to not be from the same night. It was from another night. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
To us, the video was recorded.
We have the video of this kid talking about the incident. We're going to watch that video after this.
Recorded by one of his neighbors, and the audio was from the April 30th UFO crash. It wasn't. The security camera video was recorded in mid-April.
Tedestrial says, the Type B Greys are said to be very tall.
According to the man who first posted the clip, he doesn't want his name used, but says the recording was from a fireball that passed over his home in the southwestern part of the valley 2 weeks prior.
See, the Ring cam is a nothing burger.
Prior to the alleged alien encounter. The family declined to be interviewed by us, but members have spoken elsewhere and.
Velociraptor, great to see you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Shameless Senpai says, I bet this guy calls every Nintendo game system a Nintendo and the Internet X. Oh, and the Internet scares him. I see what you're saying. That's funny. Yeah, he's definitely a character, that's for sure.
Stick to their claims of seeing aliens in the backyard. Dozens of people on social.
What a script for a movie right there. Like, what a good movie script this would make. Aliens in the backyard.
Social media have analyzed and dissected the images with various claims of aliens spotted in the shadows. Police do not believe this.
Aliens spotted in the shadows. We're going to watch this video. We're going to watch a breakdown of this video. Wait till you guys see this absolute banger of a video we got for you guys.
Was a hoax call, which could be a crime if done intentionally. In the fervid swamp.
Could be a crime if done intentionally.
Known as UFO World, our coverage of the story was itself seen as a dastardly plot to distract attention away from a prominent whistleblower named David Grush, who stepped forward around the.
Is it a distraction? Is it a psyop? Do they want us to not focus on David Grush? Is that what's going on here? Or is David Grush the distraction?
Same time, Grush.
Tinfoil time.
Unveiled his explosive on-camera account on News Nation, which is owned by the parent company of KLAS. In spite of the local news story, Grush's story was reported by
Majestic 716 says, hi from Buffalo, New York. I believe that, kid. Majestic, do yourself a favor. Go outside right now and just scream at the top of your lungs, I believe, to all of Buffalo, New York. Go out there right now and just let them know that you believe, because this shit is going down. Let's take a look.
News media all over the.
Sorry for my French. This is tinfoil time.
World. Curses foiled again.
All right. So, I mean, what do you make of this whistleblower, David Grush?
Miss Tiger Eye, just hold tight. We're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost to the end of this tunnel.
He first reached out to me about a year ago. We've been in contact ever since. He's the real deal. I mean, he had a distinguished career in the Air Force. Then he went to work for a 3-letter agency you probably haven't heard of, the NGA, which basically tracks everything in space, in the air, in the ocean, under the ocean, on land. They keep track of everything. He has the highest security clearances in our government, and in that capacity, he interacted with something like 2,000 SAP, special access programs, and he learned along the way that we're reverse engineering crash flying saucers, and he's been telling that to Congress under oath behind closed doors. And I think they'll probably bring him back. So it's a pretty intriguing story. A lot like what we've been hearing about out in the Nevada desert for a long time.
Right. Of all the stories you've done over decades and decades, this one has really.
Listen to this part. Where's the money being made here? Where's the money being made in this entire operation?
Gone worldwide.
The backyard alien?
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy how much email we get, you know. We're not done with it. We'll see where it goes.
Say, this is not the last of that story.
No.
All right, George, thank you.
Not the last of that story, they said. You heard it from them. You heard it straight from the source, guys. Straight from the source. Not the last of that story, they said. All right, we got another video of this whole Las Vegas UFO incident. This is the body cam coming from Law and Crime Network. Let's take a look at this. This one here, pretty telling.
They saw something fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green-colored men.
8 to 9 feet, no clothes. This thing is naked. This thing's out there skinny dipping. This thing's out there streaking in the backyard in Vegas. You know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, one would argue. So I don't put it past these aliens. They're out there having a good time. I know I'm an alien. You know, I'm out here having a good time, and you know, so I don't. This description sounds accurate. This sounds like an accurate description of what you would see in an alien encounter in a backyard of a Vegas home. In the Vegas suburbs. Okay, let's continue on here. Again, this is police body cam footage filmed on an Axon Flex 2. Still look like they're filmed in 480p. Come on, guys. We got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. All right, let's get this video going here. It's kind of hard to make out some of you know, faces and stuff and you know what's going on here, but the audio is also a little bit subpar. But I will do my best to kind of explain what's going on here as we watch.
And not human with.
By the way, this cop randomly stopped these guys. Just randomly stopped them. They're driving down the road. He's like, hey, this is going to sound kind of funny, but you guys haven't seen any aliens around here, have you? Anyway, I'm going to, like, show you guys the video, and you can kind of, like, just get a feel for it.
Like, the eyes were glowing, and they did not. It was not a human being. So. Did you see it?
Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
It was like a big creature.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall.
You know, I'm not going to BS you guys. Like, that's the first thing he would usually do. Just totally BS him. You know, I'm not going to BS you guys. But, my partner, he saw aliens too.
All of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
They see like a big.
Oh yeah, just casually. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
What they say? They see like a big something with lights.
Can we go that
I have a picture in the back. You can see.
I see a cat over there.
No. The cat's just like, ha, got him.
Please, can you check because this kid is not gonna let me sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, that.
Do you have cameras?
One camera, but it's down to the company. I'm gonna take the camera.
So they have cameras. They also had cell phone camera footage, which we're gonna watch here shortly.
Did you see it? No. I'm kind of curious now. I want to know if there's aliens.
I was with the iPhone. I say, I want to record something.
Where did they go?
Well, they say that. I'm gonna show you.
You have a dirt.
So guys, right now, just to clear the air, you know, like, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Backyard, can you show me if there's a... And I'm sorry, did you see them go anywhere?
No.
No? You didn't? You saw, did they probably go that way?
Did you see them go that way? And here's where he stops the people. It's like, hey, aliens?
Hey, did you guys...
Hey guys?
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky? Yeah. We got a call, and one of my partners actually said that they saw it too. So, If you happen to see any, like I'm not BSing you. If you see
Video
any,
footage?
no, like if you see any like little, well, not little in this
couple,
case. They're
streets
claiming
down that
8 to 9 foot tall green beings that were in their backyard. Sounds crazy, but you never know. Your neighbors, your fine neighbors over here.
My question is, was this just like a combined hallucination? Did somebody eat too much of the peyote cactus? Did the water supply get tainted with a large quantity of lysergic acid? Maybe one of the kids found some mushrooms in the backyard and were like, "Hey, Pop, let's put this on the pizza." And he's like, "Hell yeah." Is that what happened here? Was this like a mass hallucination? Is that what occurred here? That's another theory I've heard tossed around.
Again, I would normally discount it as probably
Pocket Frog says, cocaine, one hell of a drug when you're on duty.
not real.
neighbors right here?
Yes. I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further. So if you guys see anything, especially in your backyard, please call 911. We'll come over, okay? And we're hoping that it's maybe just some kids pranking or doing something stupid.
Sam Smith, it was some Delta
They said they saw something fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green-colored men, not human, with like the eyes were glowing and they did not. It was not a human being. So, yeah. What's up? Yeah, there's multiple people in this home, so we already checked. Huh? More than one.
Alright, let's skip to like where the cop talks to the witnesses. Let's find out where he talks to the witnesses. Human Scourge says, if I had to choose psyop or real, I'm going 50-50. So he's 50-50
The neighbor's
split
still
down the
going
middle
around
between
looking, so.
This being a psyop and this being real. Alright, let's take a look at what the family says. Mark Cronin says the Blue Man Group. Well, wouldn't this be the Green Man Group then?
Your neighbor's still going around looking, so.
He says there the neighbor was still looking for aliens.
Did you guys have, I'm sorry, no surveillance, no video?
The cameras don't belong to us.
That's from the company camera. So, no, the post, one of the posts.
The landlord got a camera on the post here. Over here, I'll show you.
No, they don't see it.
Yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it. But
Oh, okay.
someone else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
I'm going to the hotel, man.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
He says, I'm going to a hotel. He's not staying there.
All right, man. We appreciate you calling. Give us a call if you see
I wanted to
anything
find
else.
some aliens.
Yeah,
Well, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back into your backyard, you call the police and we'll come back here.
Sure.
Okay?
If those
Yeah.
things come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself.
All right, so that's like that's basically the brunt of the police encounter there. Before we get to the interview, or not the interview, but basically just the kind of witness account here from the kid himself. I have a few other videos here from a few different news agencies talking about this story.
It's a scene straight out of the X-Files.
That's unreal. I've never seen anything
That's unreal.
like it. What are they?
A family in Las Vegas insisting something is out there after allegedly having a close encounter of the third kind.
I swear to God, this is
A close encounter of the third kind.
not a joke.
One witness calling 911 after they say an object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
The mysterious object.
You're hearing the 911 call from this frightened young man.
An object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star. Then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
But after a brief investigation of the yard, officers closed the case as unfounded.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us. I ain't dealing with that.
According to former intelligence officer David Grush, an alien crash landing isn't too far-fetched. Grush recently turned over documents to Congress, claiming the U.S. government has a vast collection of vehicles that have non-human origin. An oversight committee in Congress is in the process of scheduling a hearing on those claims.
Is abuzz tonight with stories about the crash of an unknown object and the alleged sighting of strange creatures in the backyard of a Northwest Valley
creatures, they say.
home.
So it was last night that 8 News Now investigator David Charnes reported about how Metro Police responded back on May 1st after receiving a strange call from a very frightened family. Well, our report generated a global response, and now piecing together the sequence of events has been kind of tricky, in part because the primary witnesses have been almost as elusive as the beings they say they encountered. Chief Investigator George Knapp is as perplexed as the rest of us, George.
Perplexed, you say?
As you know, this is not our first UFO rodeo. We first heard about the incident in early May.
Not his first UFO rodeo, huh?
Via the Metro Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world. An alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces.
Something smells a little bit like a human psyop to me.
That don't make sense. But the police took this seriously.
I know something that doesn't make sense.
And so do we. Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens.
Like a fireball streaking through the heavens, Panicius arrives in the Twitch live chat. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. As Mark Cronin says, yes, a UFO rodeo.
A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his
just a glimpse
body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working.
All right. It's basically the same story we just saw. All right, so here's a breakdown by Devin O'Rourke on the backyard cell phone footage that we have from this encounter. Let's take a look.
All right, so I took a look at what I'm calling the Vegas backyard aliens video that Angel posted. Here's the first video, just regular speed. Lochero, I think she's saying, she's telling them to close the gate. Anyway, let's slow it down. And I want you to look at the lower right in the fence. You see some motion there. And
is it an 8-foot-tall alien behind that fence? Or a CIA psyop operative? Huh? Put that in your tinfoil hat, huh? Try that on for size.
And at first,
those pesky humans. Always up to no good.
I thought it was shadows, but as you look closer, you can actually see there are 3 points. There's sort of a triangle, and there's actually something, you can see it's breaching the fence. It's like a hand. You can see 3 points there.
The hand of an 8-foot-tall alien? Or the hand of an agent of a 3-letter agency?
Moving up.
Or as Panikia says, it's a cat? Question mark?
This motion is happening as these guys are backpedaling. So you would first naturally think that this was related to that. But the more you watch it, and the closer you look.
Mark Cronin says, was that you, Nemico, scaring those people again? You never know. You never know. Trains a Game says, just got mad goosebumps. Just got mad goosebumps.
Look at it.
Hold tight.
As we zoom in, you can see that there's something physical. It's not shadows, it's not light. There is something physical there, like hands or feet or whatever. Here's the second part. This one is a little less clear. But look out beyond the section I highlight here. You can see a sort of a shadow get smaller, like it's getting behind that forklift, and then a light turning on, or an eye, or whatever it is. And what's interesting about this is it's not as if the light is being revealed by the camera moving, because the camera is moving straight down, right? The camera stays on the same plane, but the light suddenly, boom. This video is really fascinating to me, primarily because the people in it aren't necessarily seeing what we see when we watch it back.
Aren't necessarily seeing
air are running out for 5 people aboard.
Well, I didn't want to cover this story for tonight, but I guess it just is giving me no choice. For those who don't know, there was a submersible that got lost near the Titanic. Crew of 5 was unfortunately lost. Hearts go out to their families. Basically an imploded Titanic submersible. I think that's about it. Next video. We have... So here's part 2 of that breakdown. Let's hear what David O'Rourke has to say for the part 2 here.
We ready for another look? Let's take another look at the shadow.
Wayne Johnson, thank you so much for tuning in. Wayne, you're on the wrong stream. This is an alien stream. We're not covering Ukraine or Russia here right now. We're talking about aliens and tinfoil and stuff like that.
Shadows and the fence. Full speed first.
Χωράμε και καν τις παρίτλε γαζέγγε, αλλά τσόρσι χώρα. Τσόρσι.
So, hold up. This is like a higher quality version of that video? Is that what we're seeing here?
We ready for another look? Let's take another look at the shadows and the fence. Full speed first.
Χωράμε και καν τις παρίτλε γαζέγγε, αλλά τσόρσι χώρα. Τσόρσι.
Backing up. Gun in hand. Light in the left hand.
Καν τις παρίτλε γαζέγγε, αλλά τσόρσι χώρα.
A regular shadow. As Red Hat walks forward, his shadow disappears. Nothing behind the fence, nothing above the fence. Key moment right here. Shadow flies in rather quickly. From behind to the right, whips around, fence begins to darken, and most notably, right up here. Bottom line, the movement of these shadows is inconsistent with their movement.
It's tinfoil time.
Let's take a closer look. Huh.
Huh. I wonder what that was. I wonder what that was all about.
I'm saying there's a lot scarier things going on.
Yeah, no. Okay, no, that's another one. All right. Okay, so finally, we have here the words straight from the witness themselves. Let's listen.
Hello,
Let's listen and hear what he has to say.
To my channel. This is my first video. I'm here to tell you what happened to me on May 1st, 2023.
I'm trying to explain the best of my abilities. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not making this story out for clout or fame. I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. And I know some people are not going to believe this, but each person is different.
We'll believe you.
So this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard.
It's midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard, and then all of a sudden, aliens, they came out the sky and they were like in my backyard, and I just like didn't know what to do. So like we called 911, and then the cops came and they said they saw something too, and all the news just like want to talk to me, and I don't want to do that because I just want to fix my truck. And my girlfriend is talking about dumping me because all I want to do is talk about these aliens and stuff. And I'm having like nightmares because I saw like 10-foot aliens in my backyard and shit. And I don't like this.
At this point, I'm only with my brother, and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky. And moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other, and we were scared, but when the impact happened, it was sort of like a shock wave. Like an out-of-body experience. So to say...
It was like a shockwave, like an out-of-body experience, so to say.
When I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry. Not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the body, the police officer's body cam, and here's the object I'm referring to, the light. Video. Here's a Ring camera video. You could hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video. So when that happened, the only thing I can see...
Obvious stressed sigh there.
In the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall.
8 to 10 feet, huh? Which one was it? Was it 8? Or was it 10?
Very thin. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard and he saw the same thing, the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out, me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good, but on camera, but it's there. Here's the video.
I don't know about you guys, but the frightening noises coming from that grandmother, that Latin American grandmother, are the most authentic frightened noises I think I've heard. I think that's like the one big thing this video has going for right now, is like her frightened noises are extremely convincing to me. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys think different, but her frightened noises sound actually authentic. Like she sounds like she's seen like a mouse or like a skunk's charging at them or something. You know what I mean? Like there's a rat that's charging them. She's like, close the dang door. What are you guys doing? I'm going to give you guys a rough translation here. She's like, close the door, let's go. What are you doing? She's literally saying, close the dang door.
Moments after the video, me and my brother went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me, and he told me shakingly, look behind the forklift. So I look. Keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray-greenish color And when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze. Like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind, I'm staring at him and I look at his whole body and he has a weird looking feet and a big face.
Making fun of my face?
And eyes, and you can see a big mouth.
Oh, really? Ha! Wow, real mature.
And I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I could start moving again. And I start running towards the house. That's when I call 911, and here's the 911 call.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot. 9 feet, 10 foot, I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes and they're not human. They're 100%
Mind you, this guy's on the phone with 911 saying this stuff.
not human.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the police to come, and you could hear footsteps. And
As Shameless Senpai says, and I noticed this when I first watched this video, he's definitely reading from a script. But is it just like he wrote notes and then, like, you know, decided to, like, I'm going to make this video, I need to write notes so I know what to say?
in the backyard area.
Or is he, like, writing is he actually just, like, reading a script, you know what I mean, for some other motive, some other purpose?
And a loud whispering, like you could hear whisperings. We were in the living room area. And you could hear footsteps on the roof. So we waited a little bit for the police. When they arrived, they told me I told them what I saw, and they were kind of freaked out. Here's the body cam of the officer.
Now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or
They see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big...
As DB says, I mean, I agree with what DB says. As your lawyer, I advise against it.
Like a big something with light?
What I saw right now, I do believe in it.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro...
So they went in the backyard, and one of the officers pointed at the floor, and it was a perfect circle. Here's a photo of the circle I'm referring to. Keep in mind, 2 officers came in my house, and one of them started running to his car, driving around the neighborhood, asking passing cars if they saw a light.
What's clear, they're taking this call seriously.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further.
Was it aliens in the backyard, guys? Was it something unknown? Was it something from out of this world? Was it something extraterrestrial? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. It's been a wonderful double feature report tonight. I've been having a blast on tonight's stream, guys. We did our weekly report. We also did our special tinfoil time segment here. I was glad to be able to come back and finally finish off this this journey that we started last week with you guys with our first tinfoil time segment. We might do this again next time we have a another UFO story. Anytime we get a really significant UFO story like this, I think, you know, like, it has to be like really significant. Like, both of these stories were all over the mainstream news. They were friggin' everywhere all week. Okay. And so if we get any more stories like this, I'm going to continue to do these segments. I think they're pretty fun. And as Kaltenberg says, this is why drugs are bad, kids. Yes, don't do drugs in Vegas late at night and then call 911 after you hallucinate in the backyard. Just kidding. Who knows? This guy might actually be telling the truth. There might actually be aliens back there. Who knows? Maybe aliens are right here. Maybe aliens have been bringing you this stream on Nemico Network for the entirety of its existence. Maybe you're part of a massive social experiment put on by a vast sentient alien species that has an intelligence that you will never understand. Incomprehensible intelligence. Well, anyway, you might as well hit that like button. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, guys, for our weekly Intel report and special report here on Nemico Network. Make sure you are subscribed. We'll be back here next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if all goes well. We are approaching the July 4th holiday, so keep an eye out on our updates, on our update section over on the community channel page and over on the Discord server, in case we delay or postpone or outright cancel certain live streams, because things are super busy right now. But I'm planning, as of now, to be back here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I should say. Big shout out to all the usuals. Big shout out to everybody that tuned in this evening. Big shout out to everybody that supported the channel tonight. To Joe Blowin' Wind for gifting all those community subs. To Speedy Squirrel for the taco fun. To everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Shameless Senpai says, do a fireworks video for the 4th. Don't worry, I have a ton of firework videos coming at you for the 4th. I just haven't got around to getting some of that content out for you guys because we've been in the middle of a record-breaking fire ban here where I am living. I am not able to blow anything up right now because of the drought we've been having. So I've been able to really blow up any fireworks because the fire department doesn't very much like that, and they yell at me when I try to make things go boom. So we're going to have to wait a little while. Well, actually, I think I'm getting rain like today or tomorrow. So hopefully we're getting some rain here, and I can start filming some good firework videos. We got a hell of a special coming for the 4th this year. Last year, we had a 50,000 subscriber special planned for you guys, but it got ruined by the rain. Which is funny because this year we don't have enough rain, but we're going to be making it up to you guys. We got a huge 50,000 subscriber special that I'm filming for you guys. Big fireworks show, all sorts of crazy stuff we're throwing in there. Can't wait to get that uploaded for you guys. It's probably not going to be able to be released until after the 4th, but it's going to be pretty cool nonetheless. Again, big shout out to everybody for tuning in tonight. Pocket Frog says, Nemico Network, thanks for update. Please leave a link for that sandwich. I wish I could. I could maybe leave a link for a recipe to the sandwich, maybe. I'll try to find that at some point. Maybe post in the Discord or next week. DB, thank you so much for the super chat, says, have an alien brew on me. DB, you know me, man. You read me like a book. I'm about to have an alien brew right after I am done with this live stream. I guess, with that, I mean, I guess there's a few more things really quickly. We do have the Discord server. Can't forget that. If you haven't already joined the Discord server, you can find a link to that in the description below. We would love to have you guys over there on the Discord server. Big shout out to everybody on Twitch. Big shout out to everybody on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Check out the YouTube channel for the videos that we're going to be uploading, the summaries, the versions of this video, which have been condensed down for your viewing, will be uploaded hopefully the next day or two here. Can't wait to get those out to you guys, so keep an eye out for those. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Nemico Network, and this has been a tinfoil time. Do you believe the truth is out there? Paranormal activity. Starring David Jakovny. Government denies knowledge. Gillian Anderson. Do you believe the truth is out there? Hold the mustard. The truth is out there.
change our daily lives, that will change history, 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 that will change history. That will be the most beautiful day.